everybody, I am Petri, and today I want to talk about League of Legends, because that is what I do in every video. I also want to talk about Galio, the ultimate chat mid laner, who has so strong early game and so much CC that the enemy Yasuo will just disconnect after 10 or 15 minutes. Enjoy the guide! And let's start it off strong with runes. First off, Galio is, as I said already, really strong in early game. That is mostly because not only does he has pretty nice base stats, but he also has two hard CC abilities, and that on a mid laner is a lot. For that reason, we are going to be taking Aftershock, which not only gets that bit of extra damage, which can help you during the fight, but most importantly, it will make you even tankier and harder for nowadays mostly assassins in mid lane to kill you. Next, pretty easy, is to take Shield Bash because Galio's W shield is up pretty often and the amount is also pretty nice. He is designed kind of, it is his signature move, unless we're cutting ultimates. So this shield will be able to deal great amounts of damage and you are often able to close up to enemies even after the shield is destroyed in those 2 seconds it grants. It is nice damage and best for Yasuo. You'd never want Yasuo. For Galio, you never want to take Font of Life and Demolish you don't really need because you won't be building health as your primary uh, primary stat. Next, bone plating, I would probably recommend it every time. You do not need conditioning that much. And as I said, you want to play in early game. So second wind is not that great because you are saving this for that one trade you want to make once you hit level 3. And lastly, you can go either for overgrowth or unflinching. Revitalize is nice and can increase that shield you create a bit, but that shield is mostly useful for poking enemy champions or you know just quick resets, but and does not really grant that much usage. Of course, this is with big quotation marks in actual fights. So you can either go for overgrowth and get a bit extra health, or if enemy team has a lot of CC, you can go for unflinching. And secondary tree is also really simple. You always want to take Nimbus Cloak so you have better ganks, because that is kind of what Galio is designed around. And Transcendence for shorter cooldowns. Smaller runes also really simple. You want to take 2 Adaptive Forces. Adaptive Forces? You want to take Adaptive Force on offense and flex, and then you want to take Magic Resist or Armor or Defense. Preferably Magic Resist because Galio's W grants him physical damage reduction according to your magic resist. However, if you feel that you need that armor for the early game, go ahead and take it instead. That is going to be everything for runes. I will see you with the rest of the guide in the game. Okay, so really quickly, for summoner spells you always want flash, because flash. And then you I would say every single game want to take teleport because Galio is kind of designed around ganking and helping his teammates. And also it works really well with your Nimbus Cloak. So go for this. One last reason, obviously the only other spell I would recommend is Ignite. And Ignite on Galio doesn't really do that much because if you can kill someone as Galio, you will kill them without Ignite. And it's just a fact for me. So no need to change teleport ever, I believe. It also works really well with your ultimate, where you have option to go in and gank some other lane, and in perfect scenario TP to the other, or just go ahead
I've
and
got a
when
high
you
tolerance for magic. Takes a lot for
return
me to
to
feel it.
buy items, you can TP to the lane if enemy laner is pushing it. Anyways, for the items, you wanna start off with Dorn's Ring and 2 health potions. Because Galio is a mage, those 70 health are good for him, altogether combined with the fact that he will have bigger magic shield on level 2 and will possibly take less damage throughout the laning phase. Only other option you can go for is corrupting potion, and I have not tried that. I am a really conservative player, so I won't be talking about it, but it very well may work, and you can possibly spam your Q a bit more because before you go in, because you get that mana regen from this. Anyways, for your first back, I would always recommend buying Hextech Alternator for that burst damage which you want on Galio, and if possible you want to get boots, because Galio with that bonus movement speed is not only able to actually chase someone with his W, but also he does not have that long effective range. So once someone is inside of his range, he can't usually get away from him. But with this uh, move speed buff, you can actually chase pretty much everyone. And then obviously for the same reason we are taking Rocket Belt. It's a free dash. It combines well with Galio's E, where you can dash 2 times, get a knock up, and follow up. So I don't think there's much to discuss. It's best item Galio can get. It helps him, it gives him a lot of stats he uses, and that is pretty much it. Next item you want to get is obviously your upgraded boots, which most of the times are going to be Mercury threads. You play better into mages, meaning that obviously Mercury threads are gonna help you. Other option are plated steel caps if enemy mid laner or pretty much anyone who is fat on their team is AD. But keep in mind that sometimes even into the AD, if at least someone on their team is AP, you can go ahead and buy those Mercury threads for 30% tenacity bonus. Or if you are just the chat player we are
They
talking
make me
about
to
here,
stop
you can
magic.
see him right here. This is
Yeah, I
Galio.
hate when it's gone.
You can just go ahead and buy Sorcerer Shoes to one-shot enemy ADC. Save build is Mercury Threads or Petty Steel Caps. Anyways, after that, you probably want to go ahead and build Zonias, because Galio is kind of a tank, but not fully. He's just a replacement for a tank on a mid lane. Meaning that Zonias are really good. You can engage onto enemy, CC them long enough so your team can cover. In case of need, you have free stasis. So Zonias are really good item on Galio. That's what I'm trying to say. Uh, Next item, and here it starts to get a bit interesting. First off, if enemy team is playing something like Viego, Irelia, anything that has strong AD and uses auto attacks, you can actually go ahead and build that tank Galio and go for Thornmail, or you can go full AP, build Morelomicon. It is the better option, unless they have one really fat carry that is AD. Then you want to take Thornmail, otherwise Morelomicon. Entire hidden on Galio is really good in, I would say, almost every game, because if enemy has some sustain, they may be able to kill you even with all of your burst damage, because you're not necessarily one-shotting champion. And then you usually want to go ahead and buy good old Void Staff with its magic penetration, because it is one of the better items you can build on Galio. The other option, and well, you will be
Make
building
me
Void Staff.
stronger, purple zapping stick.
From now on, you just will. And other options are, for example, for your last item, really good is Cosmic Drive because it allows Galio, it combines well with the whole Proto Belt and boots, just better engage. So Cosmic Drive is really good, and Void Staff can be replaced, for example, if enemy team has something like Morgana that can ruin your day. You can go for Banshee's Veil,
I like buying
or
personally.
if enemy team has a lot of tanky champions, you can go for Demonic Embrace. Out of all of these, I believe that Void Staff is the best overall because you can also combine it with your Proto Belt Mythic Passive and possibly your
The
Sorcerer
best
Shoes
defense is a good
means that
magic
you
absorbing
will be able
colossus.
to kill pretty much, well, shred through pretty much anyone's magic resist if they build it. And then you want to take Banshee's Veil. And out of all those three, Demonic Embrace is, in my opinion, worst, even though it gives Galio health as the only one, which is a big plus because you do want health.
Doesn't
You
come with
can get that
instructions.
increased shield on your W. So all of these three are possible, dependent on the matchups you are playing with.
It's not
Anyways,
easy when
now
everyone
let's go
looks up
quickly
to you.
to Galio's abilities. First off, Galio's passive, Colossal Smash. Uh, Pretty much every few seconds, this is reduced with your cooldown reduction. Your next auto attack will be empowered. You will the AoE damage, which scales really well with pretty much by itself and also with AP. It is really powerful and works on pretty much everything you auto attack apart from typical stuff like wards or plants or these things. So it is a really good source of wave clear. It is actually just for farming. It is really safe tool because you cannot miss a low health minion if you kill it from half of its health. Uh, it is a great trading tool, fighting, and most importantly, it also applies to towers, meaning that, well, it won't look that effective without minions, but it also applies
A
to
worthy
towers,
opponent.
meaning that you have a very fast way of actually destroying towers when you either kill enemy liner or after a successful gank, you can get plates and snowball the game together with your team. Obviously, Galio is a team player. Then Galio's Q. It is you fire these to wind something, which at the end will create a little tornado. The damage on this is phenomenal. The bonus damage at the end is scaling with max health, meaning that it is also good against tanks. You usually want to aim it behind your enemies, so then if they run away, they will be hit not only by the one of the shots, but also by the follow-up explosion, because they probably won't be running towards you. If they are, then obviously adjust your aim to that, but it's just a little quick thing I wanted to tell you. Two small bonus informations. First off, the tornado at the end actually moves away from you, meaning that if they are running away, they will pretty much have spent longer time in the tornado because, as you can see, it moves this way right away from Galio. Meaning that it's best used actually on further ranges when enemies are running away or when they are CC'd. You just want to put it
Get behind me, huddled
kind of on
masses.
top of them, because if they try to run, it goes further. And lastly, it's only Galio ability that works with flash. You also can do a bit with W, but that late, a bit about that later. Pretty much, you can just do Q flash, and it's a really quick way to finish off low health
Turret
enemies who
plating
are
will
running
fall
away,
soon.
and also we can use it to engage in some combos. Now to Galio's W. You got two casts. First is that you will slow yourself by 15% and gain magic and physical damage reduction. I will show you the numbers, you can read about it. Just know that physical damage reduction is half of the magic. Passively, you will also gain a magic shield, which works kind of like Malphite, except this is only for magical damage and scales with your health a bit better than Malphite does. Anyways, this shield is really good for trading. You can take on those poking champions, like for example Orianna, even though she can poke really well, so she's one of the better champions to play against Galio. But again, I'm just talking too much into the future now. Most important part of the W is the active, and as you can see, it's this circle that creates around Galio. And once the circle goes off, which is after which is after 2 seconds or any time you choose, you will taunt every enemy, every champion around you. That is really important. The damage is only damage and taunt is only for champions, and depending on how long you charge it, the area covered and damage and taunt is increased. So you usually want to use this against immobile targets, because if they are immobile, they probably won't run away from this. It charges up faster than you move, so it works with it a bit. Or after your E when the enemy is already CC'd. It is really powerful and can save your allies from a lot of troubles. It can stop the enemies from running away. Anything a town does. It is a really strong ability, and I don't think that there's more to talk about. And lastly, Galio's E. It is a dash in basically two directions. First off, Galio will be forcibly charged away, and then after that he will go forward in
I
the
might be
direction,
Minister,
knocking up
but
the
that
first
doesn't
enemy
mean my
hit.
heart is.
Again, first champion hit. This goes through every other unit, and also it is stopped by walls, meaning that you have to save it and don't do stupid stuff. I will probably show you in the clips later when I beautifully misused my E. Anyways, this is the easiest form of engage Galio has. Pretty much once enemy champion is in range, you
At
just want
last,
to
a change of
charge
scenery.
them, E them. Also, if you don't cancel it, like I did right now, because sometimes you don't want to use it that soon, Galio automatically auto attacks the champion who was knocked up.
Fast.
So that is a just little nice thing to know. And yeah, that's it. We got Galio's ultimate, which is Hero's Entrance, and everybody sees Galio like a hero.
Let's move. I've got people to
Pretty much.
inspire.
In this circle, as you can see on minimap right here, it increases with every level. You can teleport after 2.5 seconds to the target champion. It also shows you who is in range. And when you do so, you will grant them the shield from your W for, I believe, 5 seconds. Not only that, you will also teleport to the location they were on when you casted this, so you do not follow them around, meaning that if they are running away from fight, you will end up on the exact same spot they were when you casted this ability. Also, on Galio's arrival, he will knock up every enemy in the circle for 0.75 seconds, meaning that it is a great engage tool for Galio. In case of needs, when you are playing some against some comps that do not have that much CC, you can also use it as an escape. So just ultimate to your nearest ally, but you need to have those 2.5 seconds without being CC'd, obviously. And that's pretty much everything about ultimate. It is really powerful, but in its core, really simple ability. You just combine Malphite and Chen. And yes, that's gonna be for abilities. Let's have a look on combos. Uh, so first off, as I was saying, you can always use your Q flash. I'm not sure if I would call it a combo, but it is there. Then you have some nice ambush strategies. For example, if you are waiting in this beautiful bush right here, you can create ambushes with your W, where if you see enemy champion, you just start to charge it up. Then you E towards the opponent, Q, and just go full ham on them. Best option to do this is by, as I was saying, using your W, then Qing, Eing, and auto attack them. Another really useful combo is for when you are chasing some enemy who is running away from the fight. This only works as a burst combo, so they have to be low. And it is really simple. You pretty much want to Q flash, proto belt, and then you will be either E-ing if you have it available, or most often you will just go ahead and auto attack them. And it would look something like this. It is just a really nice burst. It is almost instantaneous, and it is really effective. So one more time, you want to Q flash, proto belt, auto attack.
Might comes out.
And it's pretty much 1500 damage on target without armor. Anyways, next, another thing which I think I will rather say here with the combos. With your E, the dashback is useful when you are, for example, fighting something I don't want to mess this. For example, as Yasuo, who obviously, Yasuo on their Q. The dashback can be used for dodging abilities, but not just that. You can also use it to dash into your enemy. It is sometimes useful because you will be able to CC them faster. Meaning that if you are close enough, you, for example, have started the combo with your W because they have engaged on you, you can go with your W, and when they're taunted, you can E towards them, and they will be knocked up without the delay of you going afar and then towards them. You will just knock up them right away. Just keep in mind that if you need to get away, this is also a way to run your E. So that's another combo we are going to be talking about. You can, in fact, use your flash with W. Problem is that this is only and only in case where there's that typical scenario where whole team is chasing one enemy. You can flash W on them, get a half second CC, and then follow up with this. So as you can see, the range on W is quite small, but you will do flash, W, E, auto attack Q, Q auto attack, that does not matter, you have CC them and your team will kill them. This is one option if you are further away from them, or if you are just in the range where your E is not ready yet, there is that turn of the terrain where you actually can't E to them, you can just flash W, E, auto attack you. And they should die if your team is there. That is the only scenario when you will be using this. And then the last combo that actually is here is just adding your ultimate. So when your ally is either being chased or is fighting enemies, you usually want to use our ultimate on melee champions so you can get as close to the enemies as possible. But you're basically ultimate,
So, what do you people do?
auto attack, W, auto attack, Q, E, auto attack. And that is pretty much everything to the combos. Towards the laning and matchups as we always do. So, in the laning phase, Galio is a really powerful champion. I don't think there are many champions who can match him on level 3, at least on mid lane. Only one I can think of right now would be either Irelia, because of her powerful early game, which she has, and also she is a sustained champion, which is kind of what can beat Galio. So that's getting us straight to our bans. You can either go ahead and passively ban Irelia, but most of the time you won't be trying to fight her alone. So you actually can really easily beat her if you have someone ganking you, because in that 2v1 Galio can just CC her for long enough to her dying and then getting behind. Who you in fact can't kill that easily is two is one assassin and one assassin who is not the first one. Have you ever heard about Zed and Katarina? Well, I did, and I did not like them. Because with Katarina, it's still somewhat going okay. She is a really powerful assassin, can kill people fast. Not necessarily Galio. She also can't really deal that much damage to you with poking with Q, which she sometimes does, right? But because of her E, it is extremely hard to actually try to engage on her, so you can touch her. The upside is that if she is towards you, you can kill her in fact because of your taunt and follow up. But then there's Zed. First off, Zed is AD. He is not using mana, meaning that he can poke you with his Q as long as he wants, get you low, and then kill you. Also, Zed has his W, meaning that you can't actually gank him. He's one of the hardest champions to ever gank because it's 2 clicks of W and whoopsie, I'm over here. Which for Galio, who is built to get that early lead on, is not preferable. And I don't think that smart Z player would be trying to kill Galio this early. So all he has to do is just play it safe, get some poke on, and if he's sure that you are low enough, he can go for kill. Or he can just save his W, force your jungle to never gank you because they see that there's no reason, and just survive until late game where he is going to one-shot your ADC and laugh at you. So yeah, I don't like Zed when I'm playing Galio. Some other problematic champions are, for example, things like Sylas, who don't only have sustain, but they also have the burst, so they are able to fight with Galio. But yeah, I hate that most. Anyways, a bit more towards laning. You are most of the time strong in the early game, can 1v1 a lot of champions, even something other than Irelia that is sustain, which on mid lane is usually mostly Yasuo or that Silas, but he's built more like a tanky, tanky assassin now, I guess, is the word. And yeah, you can beat them all. I, if the enemy is immobile, it is even easier. If they are mobile, you will probably need more than one time to kill them, but that's not a big problem for Galio. You also, because of this strong early game, can often help your jungle to secure objectives. Galio is really good at that because of his CC. He can stop enemy from even smiting the scuttle crab because he CC it, right? And yeah, that's it. Once you get towards your first item, you possibly even to level 6, you will be looking to
Guy that
push the
made
lane,
me
possibly get plates
is
when
pretty
the enemy
good,
is not
right?
there. But we just want to push it, force them to stay, and then go ahead and gank. Usually bot lane because they are more squishy targets, and with your CC you can kill them more easier. So that's pretty much Galio's game plan. You want to push the wave really easily with your Q and passive, and then go gank and roam. And yes, that is pretty much Galio. I hope you like this beautiful champion. I do like him, and you should too. Unless you are one of the Z players, then I guess I'm still okay with you because it takes a lot of skill, but still. Petri out.